Hey, hello everyone, welcome to this video. In this video, we are going to start with very first loop of C++ and name of that loop is for loop, okay, F-O-R, for loop. And this F-O-R for loop is represented by keyword called as for, where each and every character of for is in small case, okay. So let's quickly jump onto the discussion of for loop, how the for loop is written in C++. Let's understand the syntax of for loop, and then I'm also going to give you one small example, one small code snippet for the for loop. So let's quickly get started. So I have one simple code snippet open on my VS Code. So let's start with understanding the syntax of for loop. So you have to start with for keyword. As I said, you have to start with for keyword. Now, the for loop or the syntax of for loop is divided into two parts. The first part is called as header of the for loop and the second part is called as body of the for loop. Okay, so this part over here, this entire thing is called as header of the for loop and this part is body of the for loop. Okay, so I'll just quickly repeat. See, for loop syntax is divided into two parts, header and body. Okay, this part is header, this part is body. So let's start with header, how the syntax of header looks like. So in header, what you have to do is you have to write for keyword followed by opening and closing parenthesis, and inside these opening and closing parenthesis, you have to write three expressions. The first expression is called as initialization expression, the second expression is called as test condition, and the third expression is called as update expression. Okay, let's quickly repeat. See, the first expression is initialization expression, then we have test condition, and finally we have something called as update expression. So this is your for loop header. Now, after this for loop header, you have to write body of the for loop. Now, what is going to be the body of the for loop? See, body of the for loop can be either a simple statement or it can be a compound statement. Okay, say I'm going to give you a code example. I'm going to give you an example. You can see I have written one small example here. I'm going to jump onto the discussion of this example. Right now, let's not worry about this example too much. Right now, let's focus on this flowchart on your left hand side. Okay, let's see what this flowchart talks about. See, let's understand how the for loop works with the help of this flowchart. In for loop syntax, you can observe we have something called as initialization expression. So initialization expression is the thing which executes at very first. Okay, initialization expression will be executed at very beginning. Okay, then what is going to happen? The test condition will be checked. Test condition will be checked. If test condition results into truthy value, if it gives true as the output, then the body of the for loop will be executed. Okay, if test condition result into false value, if it results into falsy value, then the loop will be terminated. Okay, you can see over here, if test condition results into true, the body of for loop is going to be executed. If it results into false, then the for loop is going to be terminated. Okay, now let's assume that the test condition results into truthy value. Then what happens? In that case, the for loop body will be executed, followed by that update expression will be executed. Okay, see, it will execute for loop body first, and after that update expression which you are going to write over here will be executed. Now this will keep on happening until and unless your test condition becomes false. Okay, till the time your test condition is true, this will keep on executing. You will stay inside this loop. That's why it is called as loop. Okay, until and unless your test condition results into truthy value, you will always stay inside this loop. You will always stay inside this cycle. Okay, and once your test condition results into false, your loop will be terminated. You will exit from this cycle. Okay, and in this way the for loop is going to be executed. Let's quickly revise the execution flow. See, initially the initialization expression will be executed, then the test condition will be checked. If test condition results into true, then the body of the for loop will be executed, followed by that update expression will be executed, and this will keep on happening until and unless the test condition becomes false. Once the test condition becomes false, the for loop will be exited or it will be terminated. Always remember, the initialization expression will execute only once. Okay, initialization expression executes only once, but the test condition will execute in every iteration. Okay, in every cycle the test condition will execute. Okay, because if you don't execute the test condition, then you don't know when to stop, right? When to exit from the loop. Okay, or do we need to continue the loop or not? We don't know if we don't check the test condition. That's why the test condition is executed in every iteration. Similarly, the for loop body is also executed in every iteration, and the update expression is also executed in every iteration. Okay, so in this way the for loop executes. Now let's see this example. Let's see this small example that I've written for you. See, in this case, what is my goal? I'll just explain you what this program is going to do, and then we'll see the program itself. Okay, so in this case, what I'm doing is I'm creating one variable with value 0. So this is my initialization expression. See, what is an initialization expression? Basically, we are just creating one variable and we are initializing that variable with some value. In this case, I'm creating a variable with name a and I'm initializing it with value 0. Okay, this is my initialization expression. Now this is my test condition. In this case, my test condition is true. Let me modify it a little bit. Let me change it to a less than 5. Okay. Now this is my test condition. So when I'm saying here the test condition is checked, and if test condition gives true answer, then the loop will continue. If it gives false answer, then loop will terminate. So that test condition is basically this test condition in this case. Okay, and then this is my update expression. I am writing a plus plus. So in every iteration my a will be incremented by 1. Okay, so this is my for header in this example. Okay, this is my header. All right, and in this case this is my body. Okay, so if you observe, this is a compound expression, right? I'm enclosing one simple statement in curly braces. So whenever you enclose a simple statement inside curly braces, it is called as compound statement, right? So in this case, my for loop body is a compound statement, but you can also write a for loop body as a simple statement. A simple statement can also become a for loop body. Okay, so in this case, if I remove these curly braces, then my for loop body is simple statement in this case. Okay, but it's always better to write curly braces around the simple statement as well. Even if you have a body as a simple statement, it's always better to write or enclose it inside the curly braces, because it will add more readability inside your code. All right, so yeah, this is the simple code. Now let's see what is happening inside the for loop body. See, inside the for loop body, I'm just writing a is, and then I'm printing value of a. Okay, so let's run this program. Let's see what we get as the output. So I'll clear the terminal and let me write g++. File name is 2forloop.cpp, and then I'll write /a.out. You can see it is printing some output on the screen. It is printing a is 0, followed by a is 1, followed by a is 2, followed by a is 3, followed by a is 4. Okay, so it is printing a is something 5 times. You can see if you count these lines, these are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines. Okay, now let's understand with the help of this flowchart how this code is working. See, initialization expression is int a is equal to 0. So a is getting initialized to 0. Okay, so now my a is 0. Now then the test condition is a is less than 5. Okay, so right now the value of a is 0, 0 less than 5. This condition is true, right? So the for loop body will be executed. So what is the for loop body? It is this cout a is value of a. So it will print a is 0 on the screen. Okay, now once this for loop body gets executed, after that the update expression will be executed. So this is my update expression. So in update expression, what I'm doing is I'm writing a plus plus. Okay, or it is very similar to a is equal to a plus 1. Okay, so I'm writing a plus plus, or a is equal to a plus 1. So my a will be updated. Okay, and a will become 1. Now again I'll come over here inside test condition. I'll check the test condition. 1 less than 5, this test condition is again true. Okay, so again the loop body will be executed and it will print a is 1 on the screen. Then a will become 2. Again 2 less than 5 is true, so 2 will be printed on the screen. A is 2 will be printed on the screen. Then again a will increment, a will become 3. 3 is again less than 5, so again it will print a is 3 on the screen. Okay, then a will again increment, a will become 4. See, 4 less than 5, even this condition is true. So again it will print a is 4 on the screen. Okay, now again a will increment. The update statement will work once again. Okay, and now your a will become 5. Now 5 less than 5, this condition is false. Okay, this will result into a falsy value. So whenever your a becomes 5, your test condition will give you output as false, or it will result into false, and then finally your loop will terminate. And finally, once your loop terminates, whatever you are writing after the loop body, whatever you are writing, in this case I am writing return 0, will execute. Okay, so once your loop terminates, the flow will come outside of the loop body, and whatever you are writing outside of the loop body will start executing. Okay, so I hope now you're very clear with how the for loop executes and the syntax of the for loop. I forgot to mention one small thing in the syntax. See, in for loop syntax, these semicolons are very important. Okay, see these expressions. I said that in for loop header you need to write 3 expressions: initialization, test condition, and update expression. So these expressions are separated by semicolon. Okay, so semicolons are very important. You cannot skip them. If you skip them, then it will result into syntax error basically. So writing semicolons is mandatory. Okay, so in next video we are going to continue the discussion on for loop. Okay, we are going to see some more examples on for loop, and we are also going to see some twists and turns into the syntax of the for loop, which are very important for the multiple choice questions. So see you in the next video.